All right, we are live. Um, we're here with rapper Young Dee. Gonna be talking to him about early life, the influences that made him the man he is today. Um, just got the notification, and then kind of go into the upcoming projects that we got, music and stuff like that, and see where it goes. So I know I introduced you a little bit like I usually do, but go ahead and please introduce yourself, tell people where they can find you, stuff like that.
What's going on, y'all? My name is rapper Young D. Government name is DeMaria, you feel me? So if a lot of people do want to know what that is, you feel me? I am from Richmond, California. Rapper, singer, you feel me? So been doing a lot of tuning in, a lot of arts, especially tuning into a lot of people's music and stuff like that. So definitely, if you guys know who I am, a lot of people that don't know who I am, rapper Young D with two E's.
There you go. Uh, music, all platforms, you laid out everywhere.
Oh yeah, iTunes, Spotify, TikTok, anything you can think of, I'm on all of them.
There you go, man. Spread it out, that way it's easy to find you.
Facts, facts.
All right. So let's get into at least like where were you born? Did you spend most of your life there? So like where'd you grow up? Were you
Originally, so I'm originally from Oakland, California, but most of the time I was raised in Richmond, California. You feel me? So most of my family is from Richmond, California. A lot of the music musicians that I know is from family wise too was from Richmond, California. So that's where most of all the stuff happened for me is Richmond, California. So
is that where you currently are?
yeah, at the moment, yeah.
Gotcha. Um any plans of leaving?
Hoping soon. Hoping I can leave the city soon, but I still got to show my city that love and appreciation, and still try to get them back on the map. You feel me? So I don't plan to leave them too soon, but
I got you.
you feel me, man?
I got you. All right. Well, then, in the early life, man, where were you with your parents the whole time? Are they still together?
It
What
was
kind of life?
basically it was like an on and off situation between my moms and my pops. You feel me? So being there with my moms, and then half the time being there with my pops. You feel me? But most of the time I've been with my pops. You feel me? So kind of teaching the game of how everything is and stuff like that. So that's how we that's how we try to do everything what we can.
What kind of woman do you say your mom would be? Like, if you were to describe her in a good clear sentence, man. Like, mom is
I say my mom would be the most intelligent, smart, and the most genuine person that you can ever meet in the world. Literally,
and when you say dad is what do
that
you
that's my superhero. I ain't even go cap to you. That's my superhero. So
that right there, that says it all, man. That's
that's
where
my
you and
superhero.
just as a father myself, are you a father?
Yes,
Yeah, okay, so you know this. The place you want to be is superhero. That's what you want. You need that, you
exactly,
know.
exactly.
If you're not looked at as like invincible, dude, then you might be doing something a little wrong, you know.
Facts, facts.
Yeah, because I got that. Still, my kids, man, they're my daughter's. Well, I just had one, but um, one of my daughters 22, one son's 20, the other's 19, and they still look at me like I'm, Superman. It's like, all right, cool, man, but I'm just like, dude, I'm just a guy though. When you were a kid, it was easy to conquer all your problems. When you start throwing
Man,
adult problems at dad, it's a little more difficult to handle that. So, but anyway, yeah. So that's good. Good. I like dad was that. Um, so early years, man, what was your day-to-day life, at school? After school, did you do any type of activities during school, after school? What kind of grades, things like that?
Mostly during my time frame and school wise, you feel me? I was mostly like the good kid slash fuck up. So, so I was mostly like getting good grades. You feel me? Still was still getting on my good studies. You feel me? A's and B's with a 3.9 grade average. You feel me? So try to do everything as I can, especially try to spit as much knowledge to the kids while I was in school too. So doing that. The fuck up sides, I'm pretty sure y'all already know me half of the time, you know, smoking and stuff like that, which I ain't gonna get too much into the details about, you feel me? But,
Sure, sure.
but
It's all right to
nah,
partake a little bit, though. You know.
if y'all know how the bad kids was in school, y'all know.
Right, right. So you were able to kind of ride the line of shenanigans with keeping your good grades up, and
Exactly.
maybe not pushing the envelope too far.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said,
Gotcha.
sometimes you gotta know the right from the wrongs. Sometimes there's a lot of people that tell you it, but sometimes you gotta learn it yourself.
So did you do any after school programs?
Definitely was into after school programs, spelling bees. Definitely was into counseling too. That was like the biggest thing for me was seeing a lot of kids go through like depression and stuff like that. So you feel me? That was one of the
At what
biggest
age?
things for me.
You were counseling kids?
Yeah,
You were
definitely.
like helping
I
at
was
what
one of the school
age?
counselors.
What age? What age?
At the age of 15, actually helping a lot of kids that was going
Impressive.
through depression, that was going through stuff at home and stuff like that. So helping them through stuff like that. So I know exactly how it felt. So me being a counselor and helping the next person try to go through the positive state. You feel me? So that's why I was there, trying to be that counselor, try to help as much people as I can.
I didn't know you did any of that type of stuff. Just, we haven't had too far of in-depth conversation like this, man. Just saying, dude, it's like now I understand, which I already knew you're a good dude, you're a really good person, but now I get like why I really had this is a good guy feeling. You know what I mean? This is somebody that you could call friend and be good doing that. You wouldn't have to worry about, the knife in the back thing.
Right.
People who are genuine and trying to help others is it is it okay, so it is somewhat common, but I think that the depth that it takes sometimes to actually help somebody, it really you have to risk yourself to do this. And I think that when that line appears, people fall short. They don't like to cross
Right.
that where helping others will hurt themselves. Somebody like you helping at such an early age, I can almost guarantee you that if somebody was in need, at your own detriment, you would help them. Because how do you walk past somebody in need when if I can do something to help this? Yeah, I'll fall a little short on my side, but I can handle that versus this person being left alone and having no help at all. Excuse me. So I think that that's something that we kind of fall short in this world with as well. People who want to go the extra mile with that. So I do want to say that's awesome, man, and all those people that you've helped, any of those kiddos, I'm sure from them, thank you. That's pretty cool, dude. Are you doing anything to kind of gear towards that? Your music has positive vibes a lot. I guess I was gonna wait to get into the music thing, but this kind of, but it's okay because it kind of flows with it. What is your message? Are you out there trying to push the same type of positivity that you were at 15? Are you trying to take in anybody who might reach out to you? Like, what are you still doing now? At what age are you?
29.
You're 29. At 29, what are you doing now, Young D, at 29 that you were doing at 15 to try and help the youth in society?
Basically giving back. That's mostly what I'm doing now is giving back because it's been a lot of requests and a lot of requests. So mostly try to get back to the community because I know it's kind of hard for a lot of artists to try to get back to the community, especially with the positivity, because I know how it is with the positivity try to bring positive messages out there, and especially try to help somebody who's really down out there. Like, you feel me? So me being 29, learning a lot more into the world, especially people's emotions, and learning it a lot more. So definitely trying to get back to them, especially spitting it into the music. So because I know how it is, how it's hard to try to explain what you go through and stuff like that. So that's why everything that I do now, I spit it into the music. So it's more easier for people to just explain how they feel.
What meaning would because I really like the song Golden Hour. Good man. What is the meaning to that song? Just if you know, you made it, so you know, what is it?
Golden hour is basically based on your golden hours, your happy times, everything that you've done, you know, went to here and started building it up here. You feel me? So all the negativity that tried to put in your life, you feel me, and that golden hour positivity coming in your life. That's what the song is all about. Positivity, living in your golden hours.
I do, dude. I think that that's a fantastic song, man. I really like it, dude. It's got a great vibe, which also the Catch a Vibe, also great song, and
Yes,
that's with you and Swift.
yes.
Um, that's more of a party vibe, you know. It's like it's a real good dude. It's smooth, you know. You got a smooth feel to you in your music, you know. You really do. Um, okay, so putting messages in your music. What what do you hope that what type of influence are you hoping that this is going to actually like where's your reach? Are you trying to go, you know, as far as just your immediate community? Like you said, you're trying to, you know, put them on the map, but you do want to move. So are you going to put that place on the map, or are you trying to just kind of maybe put yourself on the map and influence others to just kind of encumbrance to just get on this like positive vibe train, this like the world can be better as long as you let the golden hour in, you know, if you can find that.
Mostly, I'm trying to just do it for not just for my city, but for the whole world. So because I know it's a lot of battles out there. So mostly, just try to give as much as positivity to the whole world, and hoping I can really spit the message that there's a lot of more people out there with positivity. Might think it's not, but it really is. Trust me. So that's why I'm just hoping I can give the whole world this positivity and none but love.
I think that music has been used, which I'll probably say this a lot on the interviews because I talk to a lot of musicians, but I think that music has been utilized for the purpose of storytelling, like history telling.
Yes.
Um, there's been messages, people like coded songs that would teach people for the underground railroad. You know, there's there was music that was literally to push back for our First Amendment, you know, our freedom of speech. You know, people were like, fuck the police. You know, I'm pretty sure that
Mhm.
that was literally pushing the limits to freedom of speech because they were trying to shut that shit down quick.
Facts.
You got, you got Jim Morrison, you know, what was he took a shit on stage or something like
Hmm.
that, man. And then you had Ozzy Osbourne biting the heads off bats. But I think with the somebody was cussing on stage or something, or they did something like that, and I think it was Jim Morrison, dude. The cops were in the backstage and they were waiting for him to do it, and they knew he was gonna do it. He told him, "I'm gonna fucking do it. Like as soon as you do, we're gonna come out and arrest you." He's like, "Okay." He went out there and he did it. It could have been shitting on. I know I'm pretty sure they arrested him for that one though too. But and I don't suggest anybody to go shit on stage, you know. But the point is that if somebody ever came across this and they heard, you know, what type of influence that you want to have, and and they think maybe that's high hopes, you know, that you want to push it all into the world, not just like your community or maybe even the United States. I would counter them with that music has influenced the world um, many, many, many times over since that, humans were mimicking birds and animal sounds back in like the caveman days and stuff like that. So I do believe that music is a very powerful, powerful tool, and it can be utilized for bad and good. And I think that we see a lot of the bad right now, like WAP, but as what the fuck kind of song is that? It's disgusting. And I just don't understand why you see, parents letting their kiddos listen to that shit. What do you think that kid's gonna grow up to do or be or want?
Facts.
Right? It's just it does influence us as we go. And I think that we need to be careful in the messages that we put into the songs. I really do. So, what do you think that I'm getting notifications up the wazoo here. What do you think the most impactful song that you have that you've made, but didn't get like the recognition that you were hoping for? Which, by the way, okay, a lot of musicians that I'll speak to, I don't think that they get the recognition that they deserve. Period. I think that a lot of them are the underdogs that just you don't have the money to get the producing or the person to like lock down a huge venue and stuff. It's just it's talent, whoo, money to get it going. Like, dude, we're all grinding so hard at the bottom to get to that top. So I just want to say all of it, in my opinion, is pretty underrated anyway. I think anybody that listens to it's gonna be like, damn, this is good. Why anybody I've ever had that play, I'll go to random um channels all the time on TikTok, Instagram while they're going live and be like, hey, look this person up. If they're doing song reviews, I throw Punch, I throw Josh Herman, I throw all kinds of people left and right, dude, to these people. And I've never one time heard somebody say that any of the songs that I put are bad. Actually, for the most part, I start throwing that shit and they're like, damn, dude, they think I clearly tell them these are people I know. And they're like, man, you need to get on a song with me. It's like, okay, well, I'll reach out to the dude and ask him if he wants to get on a song with you, but I can't like I'll try and connect. I like networking, I really do. But my point to it is that I've never heard anybody say that one of the songs of the people that I like aren't good. So just to qualify my question. So now get back to the question. What song do you think should make the most impact in maybe your career and society and all that, but has been like the least responded to? Something that you made and you thought it was going to kill.
Oh, I got a couple of them, but the main one I know for a fact is Not Noticed, that is on my new album, New Era D. So that's like one of my biggest ones.
And you hope that that one's going to hit hard. Well, what
Yeah.
you said a couple. Give me one more then. Something that you thought, was going to hit.
Um, I did
But
have
has it
another one.
you want to give it more attention, man, you know what I'm saying?
I had another one. It was called Who Am I? So that was another good one. And I think I had one more. What was it? Daddy's Little Girl. Daddy's Little Girl. So that was another one too.
Does
So
that have to
those
do
three.
with
Yeah, so that one has to do basically about my daughter. So
that's cool, man. All right, that's cool. All right, so this one I don't know if it's hard to ask or hard to answer, I mean, but what what is the song that you put out and you were like, fuck, why did I put that song out? Like it's trash, Like what song would you say? And you've left it, but it's like, man, this one's trash, but I'm gonna leave it.
um oh, it's a song that I did like 15 years ago, and it should be still on SoundCloud. It should be
Okay.
still on SoundCloud. As I believe, I think I named that soundtrack band. I think I named it Bands of Friends because that was the original name for that soundtrack before I came out with another song called Bands of Friends. But that was the original soundtrack for that, and Oh, I don't know what I was thinking for that soundtrack. Literally, I don't know what I was thinking, what made me want to do it, but I just did it and recorded it and said, "Oh, I'm just gonna drop it on SoundCloud and see where it goes." And oh, worst soundtrack. Me personally, I feel like it's the worst soundtrack for me.
I figure everybody's got one, no matter whether it's good or not, and fans like it or not. I think that artists are probably, or we all are our own worst critics, on everything that I think we all do, every individual. So I'm pretty sure no matter what anybody I asked that to, there's one thing that they did that they were like, fuck, why'd I do that? And it's like, just are you going to admit what it is? Because we all want to know. We want to know where's the fuck up, man? Where was the mistake, and
Man,
and hear you at your worst so that we know. I like to see people. I don't like people at their worst, but I do like to see people at their worst sometimes to know that the bottom, dude, there's only up, right? And it's like if that's the worst you can do, all right, makes it tolerable sometimes. Like, well, then, dude, it's only up from there. So anyway, I just always thought it was kind of an interesting conversation. So, or question: when you were an early kid after school, what kind of life did you have? Did you immediately get into music, or were you, jobbing it, staying in school for college? Where'd you go with that after high school?
After high school, I mostly was trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. So try to figure out what I wanted to do next. After that was mostly here and there with the basketball, doing a lot of basketball tournaments here and there.
Like
Then
real basketball in person?
nah, it was like little small little basketball tournaments. They had like little
But in
activity
person.
centers. Yeah, so it
And
was
you
like little
good. So
activity
you're
centers. So
balling.
yeah, you
You
know.
getting money for that?
Now I wish,
Okay,
but
okay, all right. Hey, but you were competing. You were just keeping yourself busy though, yeah?
yeah. And then
Mhm.
after that, mostly just started looking for jobs and stuff like that. So that's where mostly it started ended up after that. And
What kind of jobs?
mostly warehouse. So mostly warehouse jobs. So any warehouse job was fitting for me. Hey, I went for it.
You know how to do like forklift and stuff like that?
um, not at the moment, but I was down to learn it. I was down to learn it.
That's cool. Um, were your parents religious? Did you guys do the church thing? Do you guys do um I guess the what is it? A secular thing, which
uh,
is not religious.
yeah, my dad was more like the religious guy, liked to go to church and listen to Sunday music and the whole thing for the Sunday mornings and stuff like that. So yeah, my dad was more like the religious person. My mom, she said she was, but I felt like she really wasn't, and it was just like, and I wanted to kind of get the truth out of her and be like, no, just be like you just don't go to church. I will understand it if you just tell me you don't go to church. Just don't beat around the bush. God don't like liars.
Right, you know that, right? I think we do have a society of people who like to identify as religious, and they don't live it. It
Right?
just comes out their mouth, but they fall short in the life. We have it's really, I just feel like we have a society of people who are me, me, me. What about me? What about me? What about me and mine? And kind of like I was saying about helping people to your own detriment. It just doesn't seem that people want to do that anymore, and if you drive by and you see somebody on the side of the road, don't you still it me I used to stop and help people all the time. I actually did the other, I mean, it was, I think I asked my wife too before I did it. I think it was like 2 3 years ago. There was a lady on the side of the road and she needed her tire changed, and I pulled over and asked if she needed help. And um I was reluctant though, because you just don't know what type of reaction you're gonna get. Like, no, I can do it, or I got somebody, or you don't know, but back in the day it was so easy to just pull up on somebody and be like, can I help you, please? I'm here to help. We had a little bit more of a community feel even when we were outside of our community. So we
Mhm.
have lost this sense of, how about not me but you? What about you? What about you and you and you, right? So yeah, anyway, when you were you going to church with your dad?
Yeah, I was going with him time to time, and then had a little fallout at the church, and then that's what kind of made us stop.
What was the fallout?
Dude decided to come inside the church to try to shoot the church up. Yeah, it's crazy. It was diabolical.
Yeah, that's a diabolical.
Mm.
Absolutely, man. That what is wrong with people?
That's
That's what I'm saying, man. There it is. You can't even go into the house of God safe anymore. There was a even then back in the day, man, there was this like that rule of, church is untouchable, sanctuary, it's
Mhm.
just leave them alone. They're the peaceful ones, right? I
Right.
just don't I just that blows my mind, man. Um all right, well, yeah, I can see
Right.
where that might shift a little bit of the attendance to that church specifically. What denomination? What religion?
um. Ooh. Can't think of it at the moment.
But was it Christian or
I want to say it was a. I want to say it was a Christian church, but I think it was more to it though. Like it was more. It was like a Christian church, but it was like more. They was like more into the religion. They had a
I got you.
they had a
Uh
specific word for it. I forgot what it was called.
yeah, I mean there's so many variations of it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, in the suggestion of anybody who might be searching for that like specific thing, I always think that the original, the OG, is always best, and the one religion that can trace all the way back to Jesus is Orthodox Christianity.
Oh yeah.
That goes all the way back to the original apostles that Jesus straight told, this is how I want the churches ran. So um if there's any confusion, any poison, any things that is like a little bit of a diversion or inversion of the religion, something that you'd be like, I don't think that that's right, that's probably because it's a new branch
Hmm.
kind of pushed away from the actual church, trying to involve more people. So just be wary, be weary. So now, do you follow God? Do you go to church now?
I follow him spiritually now. So after that last scenario, I haven't been to church since then. So, but I still do read my Bible and stuff like that, and I still be praying and stuff like that. So I still keep him in my heart though. Still keep him in my heart.
What about your baby girl? Is she baptized?
I don't know about that scenario. Don't know about that one. Ooh,
Well,
that's a hard subject on that one. That's a hard subject on that one.
yeah. One day, there's this guy, ASAP Preach. I don't know if you follow him on Instagram, but fantastic Christian rapper, and he goes and he does events, baptizing events. So don't know if you'd ever be interested in that, but they're huge, super safe, very family oriented. Dude, ain't nobody messing around with these people. So, and I think I know they're in California a lot, man. I've seen them in there. Or they travel, so you should check it out, man. Just a suggestion, that's all.
Most def, most
Yeah,
def.
yeah, yeah. So, warehouse jobs, what got you into the music game? Like what while you're working the warehouse, did you fall into it? Did you meet somebody? Did you always want to do it? Where did
Uh,
this passion come from and this talent?
kind of seeing my brother being in the studio, seeing him being in the studio all day, like making beats, it's vocals, crazy vocals, screaming. That's what I mostly loved the most about it was the screaming part, which is yeah, like, that was the biggest thing I loved about my brother. So that's what kind of like inspired me more into it. And then my dad kind of told me he used to be a music artist and showed me one of his cassette tapes, and he still had one of his
He
old
made
cassette
music.
players, like
He made
literally,
Okay, all
literally.
right.
So it kind of shocked me, and he played his song on the cassette tape. I wish I still had the cassette till this day. Wish I still had it, but it was actually a good song though, and that was the first time I ever knew my pops being an artist, and I was like, wow. And so come to find out, my family, they've been more in the family chant line music than I found out. And so it just runs in the blood.
You want to fall in line? Yeah, it's like shit. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, I guess.
Right.
Um, what kind of music was it?
Mostly he was like into soul and R&B. So he was like the real I'll say his music was more like the Temptations. It was like Temptation wise. So
Okay. Do you know who made like did he make the music? Was he a singer?
um
What part of it was he?
basically I want to say he did like most of the production of how the sound was supposed to go, but my uncle was part of his crew and he did most of all the instruments and stuff like that with the piano and stuff like that. So he did most of all the instruments.
Is there anything that people can look up and hear any of them? Do you
I
know?
I wish, to be
Okay,
honest, I'm still looking until this day. Like I'm
got
still
it.
looking.
So when you say your brother was in the studio, who's your brother and what was he doing?
My brother, he go by it's black, but instead of what it's with the S, it's a Z. So he does mostly the production for the singing, the beats. Definitely if anybody want beats from him too, he does make beats too. So definitely hearing the vocals from him, seeing him in the studio 24/7 making vocals, especially when he has new ideas. He'll just sit on the couch for like a good couple of hours, go like this, and I'll just be sitting there trying to figure out, be like, why are you nodding your head like that? Like, are you going crazy over here or something? And then he'll just go straight to the booth
It's like I
and do
got a
the
beat in
same
my
thing
head
at the
right
booth.
now.
And it's just the idea that he had, and he just don't want to lose it. So just watching him be in the studio all the time, working on the music, it just kind of affect me more. So
That's pretty awesome though, man. For real, dude. Just sitting there and you're like, yo, what the fuck? What's that tick, man? What are you doing? You take your medication? Oh, that's great, man. Okay. Um, and does he you say he makes beats, does he have his own music as well? Does
oh
he
yeah,
put his own stuff out there? Okay. And that's how you find him. It's with a Z,
yep.
black. Gotcha. All right.
Uh, ITZBLAQ. So if you guys
Oh,
want to know
okay,
how to
yeah.
spell
See,
that, that's I spelled it.
there you go.
I
All
got you.
right.
Got you.
There you go. That's a unique way of spelling it, man. If they just
Right?
did the it's with a Z and then black, they're not finding your dude. All right, that's what's up. There you go. That's how you find his brother. Check him out for sure. Show him some love and support. Um, so throughout your childhood, what type of work did your parents do? Did your mom work?
um,
Stay at home? Did your dad work?
my dad, he was mostly the security guy, so he mostly liked to work all the little arenas, Oakland arenas, San Francisco Giants, definitely concerts too. So he let me know that he opened worked for Beyonce, Robin Thicke, all them and stuff like that. Especially being at Coachella too. So my dad was definitely the security guard. My mom's I want to say she worked as a nurse back then, and after that, she just kind of stopped working at the moment. She did her retirement plan, so right now she just focused on her retirement.
Um, while you were going back and forth, what kind of effect do you think that that had on you growing up, not having your parents together, kind of going back and forth? Do you think that that was something that affected you in the I mean, the way that you're doing now? Some people kind of internalize and make them depressed, things like that. Others, it'll kind of fuel them to push forward, trying to keep that connection, things like that. Usually you either drop it or you grab it. Which way do you think that you were going when you were growing up? Do you think that it was pushing you towards a negative way, or
Um, I could say it was kind of pushing me towards both kind of negative and a positive because the negative, it kind of sucked because not having my mother around, so it was kind of hard to learn things from like a female's persuasion, trying to learn things from like a female, especially trying to learn a female. And that was kind of like the downside for me, and especially most of the time I was like the mother boy, so I did like my mom's around more than my dad because my mom's was more around than my dad because my dad was at work and stuff like that, so I'll be at home with my mom's. But it kind of affected because I loved her so much, and I wanted her to be around as me growing up now, and it kind of affected me. It really did, because seeing a lot of other kids with their parents, a lot of kids don't have mothers or fathers, or most kids out here don't even have parents, so.
that you've seen at
And
least?
it really sucked on my end seeing a lot of kids that had both of their parents, so it kind of affected me seeing both of their parents there, and I didn't have my both of my parents, because it would have felt good actually having both of my parents there, happy, civilized, as a normal family. But on the positive side, it did kind of help because it kind of started showing me how things really was when it comes down to a parent. Yes, there's going to be battles that we face, but then there's battles that we can't face, and there's battles that we have to learn on our own, so that was something that I had to learn as a child too, especially learning it at the age of 16. So it kind of affected me, but then it kind of didn't affect me, so it was kind of like an on and off switch.
If you were to point at a singular problem in maybe society right now for the kids, do you think that it would be that similar thing right there?
Yeah,
Lack of
definitely. When it comes down to parents breaking up, which I understand there is reasons, and I know a lot of people got their own different kind of reasons, but at the same time, with the child does need both of their parents, like, so they can learn from both sides of the role, so just in case if they need to know what to do in a male's figure it, you feel me, or in a female's figure it, so they'll know, because a lot of parents don't know both roles. A lot of parents don't know both roles, so it really helps to really have the parent there, even if you guys are not talking. It's best to even try to co-parent. You feel me? It's like it's always best to try to co-parent.
Would you say, even if it came down to maybe you're not violent, maybe they're not violent with each other, but there's like this I kind of don't like you feeling anymore. Do you think that it would still be better if they just sucked it the fuck up and stayed together at least until the child is old enough to leave the house, because it is that important for mom and dad to be there, whether they fucking are happy or not?
It should work out, but a lot of people, they do have their a lot of different reasons, and especially it could get to that point where that person can say something that can make a person just snap in an instant. You feel me? So it's like, which it
Sure,
should work out, even though
sure.
if y'all don't work out together, still it y'all should probably buy a separate room or buy a house that's next door. You feel me? Or something. You feel me? Like, but
Peace,
me
peace,
personally. Me personally, I feel like the child still should have both of their parents in their world, like literally.
And as close proximity as possible without
Yes,
any danger to anybody.
exactly.
I got you, and I agree 100%. Damn their happiness. It really doesn't fucking matter if you guys have to be together for your kids for a certain reason. There better be no fucking drama in between that. You need to sit there and be good for them. So yeah, I do think that that is something also that we have lost in society big time is the structure at home. We don't have that. There isn't this foundation of morality anymore. People have lost the sense of judgment after you're here on this earth, which is I 100% believe that's where everybody falls short.
Mm-hmm.
Most people fall short in this world is because you're not accepting that there's judgment after this place. All this money and the things, the material things that you're trying to gain. You're not the pharaoh in the tombs. You don't get to go to the afterlife with your gold. You know, you're not sitting
Facts.
there with your pockets full of cash, standing in front of God like, "Yo, let me hit you with a C note real quick, playa. Now let me in the gates, Peter." Right? You know, like I'm on the list, right? How much you need? It just doesn't translate to that. So I think that people are really they're wasting their ability, which I think the wealth that you would gain is the salvation of your soul.
Facts.
That way you have something after, right? Um, so you got all these people that just they want the me thing. They want the lifestyle and the fun and the immediate gratification. And when they hear that there's a judgment in the end of that, saying, "Well, hold on, if you're going to live a life like that, then in the end you're going to live. If you're going to live apart from me here, you're going to live apart from me there. You know, and that's not. It's just your choice. Your choice is to stay from me here. You're going to stay from me there. That's just how it goes. You know, and they hear that and they're like, "Oh, hold on, Big Daddy in the sky." I don't, you know, this there's the Sky Daddy thing. I really hate when they say that shit, but they say, "Oh, Sky, you worship Sky Daddy. You do this." Where the fuck do you think we came from? They say evolution. It's like, man, you really think that we came from this like little single cell to what, like amoeba to fish to lizard to monkey to human. Okay, that's just absolutely asinine. There is zero evidence to suggest that, which Christianity specifically has the most evidence in any religion supporting every claim. Period. Everything that they say is wrong is starting. They just keep finding shit like, wow, well that proves it. Well, that proves that. And then now what they're trying to do, like they found where they believe they found the site where Moses parted the Red Sea. So what they're
Mm-hmm.
saying though is that the tectonic plates are there, and so at that moment when they're fleeing from Egypt, being pursued, at that moment, just so happened there was an earthquake big enough to split the fucking sea for these people to cross it. And then as soon as they cross it, shut down and drown the fucking the Egyptians. Like, come on, man. So they try to explain God away. This is it. The miracle was there, but now they want to explain it into science. So they want to admit that, yeah, okay, the event happened, but they want to exclude God's, hand in it. It's just it's the amount of cope juggling that they do is insane. Um, Good question. Any upcoming shows here in the
Hmm.
chat asks.
Oh, that is a good question. Thank you. Mel B. Oh, that's what's that. Mel B. Thank you for asking that question. Yes, we do got some upcoming shows coming up. In June, as I believe I want to say the 28th. I will be posting it all on my Instagram and stuff like that, all on my social medias. Just in case if you guys haven't added me on social medias, you feel me? I will be posting those up June 28th, as I believe I think we are going to be in Frisco. And I think June 30th, we should be out there back in Tracy. So I will be keeping everybody updated on it, you know. So I will be posting real stories, sending it to people's inboxes. So I do keep
As
everybody
you do
updated.
all the time, dude. The hustle is real, man, for you. The grind is hard.
Yeah.
That's why I don't the people that I know are like you, dude. And it's like, how the fuck aren't you on top? I don't even get it. You work so hard, so fucking hard. I see you working harder than some of the top dogs, you know, a lot of the time because they got the fucking producers, they got the crew that works for them and shit. You guys
Mhm.
do this grind on your own, you know, and you rely on the fans to push it out and shit. So, yeah, man, you grind hard on that, and
Man.
yeah, keep pushing, dude. I do. Damn near everybody that I talk to, if they're not already made it, man, that's what I see in the future for you is success. That's all I see. You know, it's kind of what is that? I am inevitable
Yes.
from the Matrix, right? I think it's inevitable. You guys, you just grind too hard. You have too much dedication. There's real talent behind it. What else could be the end result other than make it? It's just how long is that going to take and how hard are you going to have to push forward, you know? Cuz that shit's tough, dude. The algorithm hard to get into. Man, it's really fucking hard to get pushed up by the algorithm, you
Facts.
know? And so at that point it's just word of mouth, right? And if you don't get that, dude, we need to do our part as fans, as supporters. We need to do our part. We need to share it as much as possible. We need to tell everybody that we can. You know, anytime you see somebody with an earbud in, ask them, "Are you listening to music? You know, you like music? Can I suggest somebody for you?" This is what I do all the fucking time, by the way, at work. I promise, all the time. I look, I wait, I see an earbud, and they're not supposed to wear them at work. So that's why I go up to them. I'm like, "Hey, man, you listening to music right now?" They're like, well, I'm like, man, nah, dude, it's cool. Can I suggest somebody for you?" They're like, "Oh, okay." So if you catch them up, man, I'm getting into the psychology here. If you
Hmm.
catch them up, they're like, "Okay, I got caught," and I'm like, "No, no, no, man, it's good. Let me suggest." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, yeah, he's cool. Let me just look up his shit real quick, man, so he don't fucking tell or whatever, right?" But I hit him with some heat, you know, every time, every time. There was one fucking kid. I told him I had him look up Punch, and he told me that it wasn't really for him. So I asked him, I'm like, fair enough. What was it? The message, the beat, the flow? Like, what could we do to kind of like bring you in, you know, or bring more people in that have similar thought or similar taste? And he's like, man, I don't know. I just like black people rap. I was like, okay. I was like, okay, what the fuck is black people rap? I was like, okay, well, what is that? You know? And he's like, well, I don't know. I was like, well, all right, tell me a rapper that you like that you would consider to be black rap. And he says Young Doll. Now I listened to some of that immediately because I want to hear what the kids are hearing. I think it's fucking trash. And the shit that he was talking about, dude, was fucking drugs this and fucking bitches that. And I'm just like, this is what this in your mind is black rap. That's what you consider. That's you're a fucking piece of shit, dude. Like legit, man. That is some fucking dirty ass thought, right? I just every time I walk past him, dude, I fucking laugh. I can't. I just want to tell him, like, man, you're a bitch. Just to let you know, that's like some straight bitch shit. I don't know why it rubbed me so wrong, dude. It was just you could have picked somebody way better. I don't know who, just somebody, you know. So whatever. But anyway, that was just. But by the way, like I was saying, that is our job though, is to push that shit out there. And also, I would say if you're really a supporter and you have any type of communication with your fucking artist that you like or the person that you're trying to push out there, um, I think it's kind of an obligation if you want to support. But I also think that it's an obligation to follow up. So if
Hmm.
I asked him to listen, but then I waited like a week and then I said, "Hey man, did you check that out?" And he said, yeah. And I did this with everybody I say that to, you know, maybe a couple days instead of a week, but I'll ask him, and nobody but him has really said anything else. But the follow up is to ask the question I asked him: what can we do to draw you in and people like you, right? What was the thing that we rubbed you the wrong way? And you go back to your people and you fucking say it. You're like, hey man, he said, you know, if you did something like this, you could throw a couple songs, like do a couple songs that kind of touch on that, you know, and then there you go. You might have his side of the crowd getting in there. Maybe it's a beat thing, maybe it's a flow. He wants it more choppy, more slow, whatever, right? It's all, I think it's all valid information to get from anybody, even the haters. If you can get real criticism, even from the haters, that's valid, and it's actually it's good. You can utilize it. You know,
Facts.
if you could fucking snatch up the haters, dude, like cater to their taste too. The fuck they gonna say, right? At that point, they're like, all right. I mean, it's kind of like the Nickelback thing. Everybody wants to hate Nickelback. But dude, you start throwing it out. You're like, well, what about this song? Like, all right, yeah, that's a good one. Like this, all right. It's like, yeah, did you not know that it's almost every fucking song that they put is one of those songs that you know the whole everything that they did is damn near just radio play. You know, that's why they were so successful in what they in their spread. You know what I mean? So, you say you just put out an album.
Yep.
You did just I think you did. I don't know if you said the name of the album, but you said the song, but you might have. What was the name of the album?
The name of the album was called New Era D.
New Era D.
Yep.
I like that. All right, that's cool. How many songs we got on that?
As I believe, I want to say it should be 16. Should be 16 soundtracks on that one.
Do you have any special features?
I got one with Pocket Man. I think I got another one on there too. With my boy J Ray, with J Ray, I think I'd have another one on there with J Ray on here. So I want to say at least I got like 2 features on there. I think I should have like 2 features on that album.
Noah Swift?
Not at the moment. That one was supposed to be with Swift on it, but we kind of got like the time delayed and stuff like that, so we had to be on time schedule and stuff like that with the album. So
Gotcha. um Going back to again early life ish or just life, when you started getting into the music, what was your inspiration music wise, other than your brother, like artists, you know, top people that, or yeah, people that others will know, you know, who was your inspirations for your music?
oh man, I got a lot, literally, especially when
That's
it
good.
come down to the old school. Shout out to Luther Vandross, Whitney Houston, Betty White. Teddy Pettigraph. You feel me? You got what I need. You feel me? Man, that's what I loved about Teddy Pettigraph. Man, but shout out to all the new artists out there too. Shout out to Gorilla, you feel me, Chris Brown, um, Trey Songs, that's where I mostly learned all my R&B stuff. I learned it all from them. Gorilla, her style, it kind of gave me like more into like inspiring into the rap though, like, so that's why I kind of give props to Gorilla, you feel me. Shout out to the man himself, Marshall Mathers, aka Slim Shady, you feel me. So shout out to Eminem, Tech Nine, Hobson, all them, you feel me. They gave me more into the rap style, especially Hobson. Hobson was definitely one of my favorite artists when it came down to the rap game, and especially when he was spitting his music, and his music has definitely a message. That's one of the peoples that I love the most is
Oh
Hobson,
yes.
Tech Nine, and shout out to Jonah Lucas too, because Jonah Lucas been spitting his messages in the songs too. So all these artists that I've been naming, these are the people that's literally been inspiring me to do positivity music.
If you have not checked out
Oh yeah, oh
Recognize,
yeah.
Recognize is one of those guys, man. He's got hard messages in his music too. Dude be talking about protecting kids a lot too, which all for that, man. I think we need more of that in society, that's for sure.
Yes.
Um so those were your inspirations. You were getting some ideas to start cooking, getting into the studio. What was your first song and your first album? Do you know the names of them?
I want to say my first song that I ever dropped was actually called a freestyle, and it was actually one of my old producers. It was kind of his idea. So he was like, D, you got all these songs and you just got them sitting in the vault. Why not drop something? I was like, I don't know what to drop. Like, I got all these soundtracks and I just don't want to drop something and it flops. And he was like, why not just give them a freestyle? You know, most artists, they'll give them like a soundtrack, but most artists that I've seen, they haven't dropped like a freestyle when they first come out, and especially on all platforms. So I was like, okay, fine, let's try to do it that way. So the first soundtrack I ever came out with was called Freestyle, and I think the first ever album I ever came out with was technically my first EP, correction, EP, as I believe, I think that was called Hurt and Pain. So that was my first EP, and then the first album, as I believe, should have been, what was the first album? Ooh, so many soundtracks. It's so hard to keep track of all these soundtracks these days.
I
I
mean, you've
want
been
to
in it
say,
for, what'd you say, like 15 years? How long have you been in it?
yeah, I've been in this for 20 years.
Yeah,
20
sure. All
years.
right. So yeah, but go ahead. Go ahead.
But what was that first album? Oh, I can't think of the name of the first album at the moment. But it's whew, man,
No
just to let you
worries.
guys know, I got a lot of soundtracks, and especially soundtracks that haven't been released either.
Yeah. So even that could be, if you got something old, man, you're sitting there, it's like, well, is that technically my first album? Like, I got you, man. You got a lot out there, dude. Which again, saturation I think is good, but well, not but I think saturation is good, for sure. Um, what do you think in your life would be the biggest regret?
Oh, doing shows that I'm not getting paid for. That's like the biggest regret for me. Doing shows that I'm not getting paid for.
Yeah, I guess I could see that, man, going out there working so hard, dude, and it just doesn't, if it doesn't pan out, man, I could see where that kind of hits home a bit. Yeah. One day, dude, that's one day. What in your life would you say is your best achievement?
Mean Swift homicide. Mean Swift homicide. I can say that personally. Mean Swift homicide personally.
Man, he's not only talented, but a fantastic human being as well.
Yes,
And I
yes,
do think that it is important for people to keep a circle of trustworthy humans. It's tough out here. Excuse me, soda. It's tough out here to find people that won't, you know, when the time comes, when it gets down to the nitty-gritty of it, will just turn around and stab you right in your fucking back to
man.
save their own skin. And I think that that's some dirty ass shit. And I've never operated through life that way, not once ever. And when I was a kid, I also grew up with a broken family. It was with my mom though, not my dad, and it was something that was instilled in me very, very, very early. Bullies were not gonna they're not gonna be around me without getting checked. And I was a really small kid too, so I get the shit kicked out of me for the most part, but I don't fucking care. The whole point was to at least make it a little less bad for the other person. You know, if I win, I win, but it took a really long time before I started to win. It actually, it was like 14 was when I moved out. When I moved back from Las Vegas and I came back to St. Louis, and I started fighting teachers instead of students. And yeah, students stopped fighting me because they saw that I was taking on adults, so they didn't really want to try me no more. Um, but the whole point of it was like they were restraining kids. These were places like the school's called Evangelical Children's Home, and
Mm-hmm.
kids live there. But I got kicked out of all my schools in my area, and so they shipped me there through taxi cab. I'd take a cab across the bridge to the other city and go to fucking school because I was such a bad piece of shit. And
Damn.
but I see these teachers, you know, bend these little kids up, like restrain them and fuck with them, dude, for no reason at all. You know, and I won't say all the time, no reason. I will say the extent that they would go was very unjust. You know, there was no need to push that far and to hurt these kids like that. So, you know, I'd go charging down the hallway and just start swinging on teachers, and they'd bend me up too. But, you know, I always think of this one particular incident is what I'm thinking of. There was these three teachers on this one little kid. I mean, he was literally 3 feet, dude. Three teachers, three grown adults have to fucking mess with the little 3 foot scrawny. I mean, he was like 6 or 7, right? And so I just go charging. And my whole point was I'll at least take two of those motherfuckers off of him. And they'll deal with just one. It's fine. They'll hurt me. I don't care, you know? So, but where is that? Where is that mentality now where somebody will jump in and save the day anymore?
God knows. God knows.
No good deed goes unpunished is how that
That
is.
part.
That's legit. That's so for real. So, you know, it is, yes, be wary as soon as you do something good for another person. Here comes a consequence in the end, but sometimes it's just worth it, you know. Sometimes. Um you had a tragic loss in your life, and I think that anybody that has to go through it so suddenly like you did, it would be hard to push forward. If we could maybe touch a little on that loss and how how did you pull the strength to keep going forward with such an abrupt loss?
Well, it was knowing my father being my right hand, especially being my superhero. It took a lot, and knowing my father, he wouldn't want me to be down all the time, especially being in the sad moment, seeing his son doing a lot of this music stuff, interviews, music videos. I'm pretty sure he didn't want me to be down all the time. Like literally, he didn't want me to be down. He wanted me to keep this positive and keep this energy going. So that was like the biggest pill for me to really hard to like really swallow. But at the end of the day, I know he was still in my heart because that's where most of the strength came in. And knowing that everything was going to be fine, knowing that he was right there with me, I just I just knew everything was going to be okay, and I knew he was right there with me.
Um, just to be clear too, this was the passing of your father. Uh, would you tell us how did that happen?
In Oakland, California, on 73rd and Holly, was making a left turn on that street, and somebody was flying down on Holly Street. Saw the collision, boom, car flipped. On the driver's side was dented in very badly. Car flipped into someone's yard. Dude tried to flee from the scene. All I know is my dad and his fiance, she was in the front, immediately died right there on the scene. And my uncle, he was in the back seat with bad injuries. and they caught the guy that was trying to flee from the scene because he was hiding in somebody's yard. So tried to flee from the scene, but got caught and just just hurt.
So your uncle made it.
Yeah.
Um, I am so sorry for your loss, dude. That again, people, please, in the darkest moments of your life, you gotta find that light that will push you through, and sometimes it comes from the person that we lost directly. If you look back on the things that they did with you or tried to teach you or instill it in your life, you'll see that just like he said, there's no way that for the most part, I can't speak for everybody, but there's no way that they want you to feel that loss so much that it ruins your life or it stops your life. They want you to continue to push on. And I think that incredible strength, man. And thank you for sharing that. um that's yeah, that's terrible. Did did the guy, since they caught him, has he been sentenced? Is he in
Um.
fucking prison, dude, or like what's up with
So
him?
currently he's still in jail. They just been trying to figure out his sentence because he keeps running from his court dates,
Yeah, appeal,
not
appeal,
coming to
appeal.
him. So
Oh, what is he out? Oh, you say he's
nah,
in
nah,
jail.
he's in there. He just haven't been coming to the court dates. So he's been telling all of the, I guess the security guards, I guess I'm not going to come to the court date. So because he has to see us in the courtroom. So
Oh
he's
yeah, he don't
been
want.
trying
He's
to,
scared. He's
yeah.
fucking
So he's trying
scared.
to avoid that.
Well, one day, motherfucker, you're gonna face it, dude, and then one day you're gonna face it again. You gotta face that shit twice.
Hmm.
Um, Damn, dude. Do you know what they're looking for though, man? Like, what are they looking to sentence him? Is it? Please
Um,
tell
I
me it's not just
wanna
a
I
means.
wanna say they want to at least give him some prison sentence. Me personally, I don't want him to, like I said, he was a young kid, and like I said, I know how it is as a young age. I don't want them to put too much on him. I just want them to put him in there so he can at least learn a lesson. But at the
That
same time, you did take like a life, which that's somebody that cared about that person, which it kind of it hurt me. Like it really did. It really did. Like, and I really wanted him, me personally, I wanted him to have the worst in the world, literally the worst in the world. But being around my father and him taught me how to learn how to turn the other cheek, and you can't just, you know, be real angry at that person. Sometimes it hurts, but the more you throw anger at that person is more of an ugly person that shows people to show you, literally.
yeah.
And I had to learn that a hard way. Like I really wanted this guy to really have no heart. Like no, I didn't want them to give him nothing, no probation, no free time, nothing. Like I wanted him to have the death chair. The way how I was feeling, I wanted him to have the death chair. Like I really wanted him to have the death chair. That's how I was feeling. But then I had to realize he's just a young dumb kid, just probably didn't have the right morals, or probably somebody didn't teach him the right ways. And I'm
That's
just praying and hoping that this lesson that he went through right now, and me personally, I just want to talk to him and hear what he want to say. Like that's where I'm coming from. Like I just want
you
to hear the
actually want
words
to
that he
speak
said.
to him. You want
Like
to have a
me
conversation,
personally, I want to hear what he got to say, how he feels about this. Because most
dude.
most men, most men, they be ready to kill somebody over it. Literally.
Absolutely. That's where you're kind of flooring me just a bit. Just I can't the strength and the forgiveness of that, man, just saying that you want something even better for him. Which of course, justice, yes. Lesson, yes. But you still want life after all that. You want potential of doing better for society than what he did. You know, turning that dude, it's such a fucking injustice to say mistake in his life, but bad decision. His bad decision in life to turn that bad decision into something that can flourish goodness into society, dude. That's really fucking hard for a person to want that, man, for that side, dude. Again, strong, dude. That's fucking amazing that you can have that. Um, well, I hope the motherfucker gets everything that he deserves, you know, and I hope that part of that is the realization of the importance, the light that he robbed others from having, you know. If I wasn't mistaken, wasn't your dad on the way to church?
Mm-hmm.
So on his way to show his love and admiration and devotion to God, you know, this terrible thing happens, and man, he's got a lot to pay for that, dude. He's got a lot to pay. You know, I truly hope that one day that will the impact of that will hit him so fucking hard that he'll understand the only option is to go and touch as many lives as he can and push them to the light. You know, uh, and even then, though, man, shit. You know, that's in God's hands and God's eyes on that, dude. But yeah, that's good, dude, to keep that hate out of you. So that's really cool. Um, what I mean, I can almost figure out what the answer might be, but you might go somewhere different with it, though. But what is the most valuable lesson that your father taught you? What is that? The thing that stuck with you the most?
Treat others how you always wanted to be treated.
I kind of knew it was gonna go into that way. I really did, because I mean, we just said it, and you were just saying like he taught you with the forgiveness, so it kind of goes into that. He sounds like a really incredible man, you know. So that's really cool. That's cool. Um, just because we had a terrible memory of that, can you give me a day that sticks out in your mind? A great day with you and your dad, something that really just sticks with you.
Um, Being in Lodi, California, and actually meeting one of his favorite artists, Busy Bone. So
Oh shit,
that was actually a good
that's
moment.
cool.
So actually turning the actual stage up that day too. So because that day was actually big, seeing him right there watching me with the crowd, and that was the biggest moment, especially taking a picture with Busy Bone with him. So that was like the biggest thing for me.
Awesome. That boop, cherry on top. That's cool, man. That is really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Um, it's kind of a cliche-ish question. Most people ask it, but it's okay. You know, I really do. I just want to know in the mind, what do you got? So 5 years from now, man, where do you hope to see yourself? Now, I don't want you to definitively say this is where I'm gonna be in 5 years, because we all know music industry shit is rough. Maybe you be beyond your goal. Maybe you won't hit it yet. We don't fucking know, just because of how it is. So just curious, where do you hope to see yourself in 5 years?
um, I hope in 5 years I'm actually with all the other artists, especially to be honest, I'm praying and hoping I can try to be under Chris Brown's wing. So hoping I can try to do that. But
There you go.
but other than that, man, if you guys don't see me rapping, hey, I might have to pursue into my other dream, comedian. So I might have to start
Okay,
doing
I
jokes.
was about to ask you, are you a fucking comedian, huh? For real though?
Man, I've been thinking about it for a good couple of years. I've been thinking about it.
Have you written a fucking set?
Not yet, not yet, but I've been kind of thinking about him. I've been kind of thinking
Dude,
about him.
you should just write a set just to write. I could say this, the funny videos that you guys post on, you know, which I know they circulate sometimes, but I know I can kind of grasp a bit of what your sense of humor is. I think that, dude, you should write a set. You should write a set and maybe even just throw it out there, kind of like the freestyle. Just see what happens, man. See if it flops or floats. I think that watch us all be surprised, man. This is the next fucking Cat Williams right here. Y'all motherfuckers didn't even know. He's gonna come out on stage, rap, and tell jokes. Shit. Uh right. That is some serious strength. I agree. That legit too, man. I think that that should be recognized to have such a positive outlook, even on such a negative event in life, you know. So um well, that's about that's about all I think I got for now. I will say this, dude. I'm for the first interviews that I'm having, since we got such little views. I'm really I'm hoping, and I really do think that we have something kind of special. It's good, man. I want to create a hub of all kinds of people in different industries to all come together, see if we can all collab in some way or just share our ideas, you know, and upcoming projects and events, stuff like that. I believe that it will grow. So as that happens and we get our views back up, I would like to have you back on to give you another boost of the views that you should be getting right now. You know,
Oh
if
yeah,
we're getting
definitely.
thousands of views on my videos and shit, I want to bring you back so I can get you a fucking few thousand views, you know, and start pushing some people in the right direction, which I think is the direction that I'm going always, you know, and it's the people that I like to listen to, you know, I
Yeah.
just want to push that to as many as I can. So, yeah, I'll want to extend that invitation and say whenever that happens, hopefully not too far down in the future, we can bring it back, man, and have another conversation.
Always, always. And
That's
especially I
cool.
want my fans to know, because you know I gotta give the fans a special message, because you know me and how I always am. Never let anybody tell y'all differently. Stay positive. Don't let the negativity get in your way. You feel me? If you let the negativity get in the way, all you gotta do is just bow, hit them in the face, and be like, "Get out of my face." You feel me? But I love you guys. Y'all know I love y'all as much as possible. I love seeing y'all energy. I love seeing y'all fans. Especially, I love seeing y'all smiles. I love seeing y'all smiles because when y'all smile, y'all make me smile, literally. And definitely, I'm gonna definitely need you guys to tune in to the new soundtrack that I have been dropping. It is called Bevmo. Yes, the song is called Bevmo, based on the story itself. Yes. The pre-sale is already out. So if you guys definitely want to go get that right now, you can definitely go get it right now. The pre-sale is already out. Official day for that actual song is on the 10th. So definitely tune into it on all platforms. So I'll really love everybody to support this soundtrack when it comes out, please.
Excuse me. Definitely do that. All platforms. You hear that? All platforms. And where do they find you specifically? You on your Instagram? How do they? Is it typed up like this? Spell it
Oh
out
yeah,
for me.
so
Where do they
the
find you?
same way y'all see the name spelled, rapper Young D. That's where you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all the other platforms.
YouTube.
Unfortunately, I don't have. Oh yeah, YouTube. Thank you, thank you. Um, Unfortunately, I don't have Facebook. I would tell y'all to go add my Facebook, but unfortunately, they hacked my page, and I'm kind of done with Facebook at the moment. So, but
I know how that goes.
any other platforms, I'm all on it.
Cool. Sounds good, man. Uh want to say one more time, man. Thank you so much for being here, dude. It is an honor every time talking to you, man. I'm always excited to see the new music that you put out, dude. You're always putting out heat. Um thanks, man. Thank you. And I hope to talk to you soon, man.
Same, same.
Yes, sir. All right, peace. All right, guys. Awesome. Awesome. Dude, he's such a cool ass guy, man, is he not? I'm telling you what, it it is like I told him, an honor, um, there we go. It is an honor to have him on here and give us his life story. It got deep, man. That that got deep. Uh, I want to thank all of you for being on here, and anybody that comes across this video later. Thank you so much for any of the support. Please go check him out. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel here. Share it out to as many people as you think would enjoy an interview with some fantastic people like myself and D there. And I'll toot my own horn. um, yeah. Again, thank you, thank you. See you next time.